This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the internet. Of course, you are tuned in right here on the Urban Conservative. You're either watching on YouTube at TUC Twins, on Facebook at TUC Twins, or the Urban Conservative. And make sure to follow us over on X, formerly known as Twitter. It's still Twitter to me, bro. I'm not changing it up. It's still Twitter at TU Conservative. Yeah, at TU Conservative. Make sure to head over to the website. As you can see on your screen, TU Conservative is the website where you can support what we are doing over here at the Urban Conservative. Our job is to bring conservative values and policy ideas to urban communities all over states like North Carolina and here where I'm at in New York, to help us continue to do that good work of putting our folks on. You can support us by visiting the website, tuconservative.com. Get a membership, get yourself a little Hamilton plan. It's $10 for the year. We know Biden inflation has everything through the roof, but we're still $10 for the year. I mean, what else do you want from us? Do you want plasma? $10 for the year? What else do you need, folks? But we appreciate all of our supporters, our sponsors that help us out. What's up, bro? What's up with that mugshot? What you got this morning?
Yo, so I'm in the standard TUC mug this morning, bro.
Really? That's
standard muggage, man. I'll tell you what, though. I keep misjudging because I was on the Keurig before, and now I'm on a regular coffee pot, so I'm misjudging the scoops.
Oh, bro, that's a problem. It's always a problem. I did that this morning, and she walked in here with, I have to show y'all this before we get to the guest. So she walked in with this.
Ooh.
And you cannot overscoop this. Because while I am sitting here talking to you like a normal human being, the amount of caffeine running through my system right now, I want to jump up and do like calisthenics or something. But, I'm fighting the urge.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, get in the comment section. As always, let us know where you're watching and or listening from. Again, we are going to be having a very interesting Friday morning show. This is to me, a very special show about a very important topic.
Sure.
One of the things we try to do with this platform, bro, is we try to spread the right ideas, right?
Right.
And let me just say this before I bring the guest on. The name of the organization, I find it to be amazing. I love the idea. It makes sense to me because it's like right in the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? Like the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
All right. So I have to say, and before you bring the guest on, I have to say this, right? The idea, it's sad that we even need these organizations, bro. Because the idea that you're okay with someone else not having the opportunity to be alive is really strange to me. I've always found that weird. Like, you're pro other human beings not having a chance to live. That is just mind-blowing to me. But intros. Let's do some intros.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have some very, very special guests on the show with this morning for the very first time on the Urban Conservative and for the first time on Top of the Morning. We have got Dr. Bill PINCUS and my man, I came up with a nickname for you, Turner to Burner VOTIPKA, board member of North Carolina Right to Life. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Glad that y'all could make it. You like that nickname?
I like that. Mainly because the red hair really makes it burn in there, but I appreciate it.
Well, gentlemen, thanks again for coming on. First thing we want to do, we want to jump right in, and I'm going to start with you, Dr. Pincus, because you're the boss here. Um, Tell us why. Give us the 1-2s about North Carolina Right to Life. What is North Carolina Right to Life for those that don't know, and what do you all do?
Sure. So we were formed in 1973 as a result of the Supreme Court decision that legalized abortion throughout the whole United States, because we feel that there is sanctity of each and every life, from the moment of conception until natural death. So we cover that whole span of life issues. So we are also concerned about assisted suicide and euthanasia at the extremes of life. But every year, there's about 1 million abortions roughly in the United States. And there's been 64 million since Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973. And we had some forward-looking people back then that were pro-life before it was popular to be pro-life. So we were founded then, and we've worked tirelessly to promote life.
Okay, so Doc, I got to go back. There's an MD behind your name. Well, give us, so MD, general practitioner, what did you do in the medical field?
Long story. I started in the Navy, and the captain said, you cannot go to medical school. This is when I was back in college, until you do 4 years on a ship. And that was not true. But I was a young guy and I respected authority. And I said, okay, let me do it. And so when they got me through the ship duty, and I went to shore duty for 2 years, they said, time to go back to the ship. I said, adios, I'm going to medical school. Went to medical school and met my honey there. She's a pediatrician. We have 4 kids ourselves. So that was, a blessing from God. In medical school, I graduated and decided that I needed a 6-year residency program. So I went into ear, nose, and throat surgery. And I practiced for 30 years in the High Point region, High Point, Thomasville, North Carolina region. And I'd been on the board at North Carolina Right to Life. Barbara Holt, who had been the president for 30 years, was aging out, needed somebody younger. I'm not that much younger, but still full of energy. And I was deciding I was going to retire. I was out hunting in the woods one night. I'm a bow hunter, had my camo on, had my face painted. And I get this phone call from Barbara, and she's FaceTiming me. And I'm like, gosh, this must be important. She never FaceTimes me. And so I answered it, and I don't know what she thought, because here I have my camo on, my face is painted, I got my bow and arrow. She said, Bill, I just misdialed. But the Lord works in mysterious ways, And so I started thinking about it and said, maybe that was a call, since I'm getting ready to retire, that I'm not going to retire. I'm going to take over and lead the organization. And that's how I got into this position as the president of North Carolina Right to Life. But we've been around for 50 years, and hopefully we won't need us in 50 years. We'll be looking back as a sad time in our history.
All right, well, for the record, Doc, face paint, camo, all I seen was like a reenactment of Rambo. Like you should have just shot that as like the commercial. We're here to fight through life. I just saw it in my head as you were saying it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ali. Go ahead.
No. So Turner, I'm actually that would be dope. So Turner, I'm going to turn to you real quick, because you said something off air. You're the youngest guy on the board. What got you involved with North Carolina Right to Life, and why are you involved with this?
Well, I think for myself, there's a lot of people, pregnancy care centers exist. A lot of people support pregnancy care centers. I just think that a lot of people ignore the legislative aspect and the political aspect of this whole debate, basically. And I think that if you really want to end abortion, the only true way to do it, especially in North Carolina, will be to take it to the legislator and eliminate it. And so, I have 4 children now as well, so I've tied you, Bill. So take that. Hopefully, I beat you one day. But it's one of those things where, like when you have children and you start seeing little kids, and you're like, oh, like these are humans. It's not like when we're talking about abortion, we're talking about actual lives. We're not talking about something else. And so I just thought, pregnancy care centers are fantastic. By no means, I have nothing against them. That's not my world. I'm not like the most emotional person in that fashion, but I see the root cause is going to be, we have to end this legislatively to do something on a big scale to really put up a fight, not just reacting to the scenarios that are at hand. Both are necessary, 100%. But I feel like the fight that I could participate in more is with North Carolina Right to Life and ending this in North Carolina.
Absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna you both mentioned something that's important, and I have pulled up the North Carolina Right to Life website, right? And so the way I wanted to kind of talk to you about this, where did it go? Issues. There's the page I was looking for. So we mentioned abortion, but to me, some of these things don't get talked about, and I'm like, and for one, human cloning, I think, doesn't get talked about. Like when y'all mention human cloning, and I know we didn't talk about this off air, but what does that mean? Are we talking about actually creating clones of human beings in the like? Where are you guys at on that issue? Like, because that's not something I've heard of before.
So the human cloning issue is interesting. And I don't know if you guys remember, about maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was Dolly, the sheep that was cloned in Great Britain. Well, and that was a successful clone. And what they do is they take the genetic material from one cell living person, and they put that into an unfertilized egg, removing the DNA structures within that egg. So now I have the egg with completely, I won't say foreign, but it is human DNA, but it's from another cell of a living person. And therefore, all the DNA, all that information that tells you how high you're going to grow, how tall, color of the hair, your eyes, your intelligence, your physical appearance is in that other cell. So essentially, it's a clone of me to you. Now, unfortunately, medical technology is very important, and it's tremendously advanced. I mean, when I first started my ear, nose, and throat career in 1990, things have changed drastically. Treatments of cancers have changed. The imaging studies that we do, the diagnostic tests that we do have all changed, and medicine changes rapidly. They say every 5 years, there's a doubling of the medical knowledge that we have. So when you look at the cloning aspects of it, yes, they did clone Dolly the sheep. Dolly actually died from some bad disease several years later, because we haven't perfected that technique, and maybe we never will, and hopefully we never will. I mean, I believe in God as a creator and giving each one of us life, and each one of us is different, just like every snowflake. And that gets back into that argument of my body, my choice. Yes, it is the woman's body, but there's another body with complete DNA structures for a completely different human being within her body. And she has the care of that baby until the baby is born. It was sad. In 1973, we passed Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion throughout pregnancy. We also passed the Endangered Species Act. Now, what a coincidence, a contradiction. We're trying to protect turtles and eagles, and we should. But now we kill our own human species in the womb, the voiceless, the defenseless. That doesn't make sense.
Can I ask this? Can I ask this question around this too? With the human cloning thing, it's interesting you brought that up, because some people don't realize the industries connected to these subjects. So there's a whole entire industry, and correct me if I'm wrong, that goes into maybe this is just what I'm hearing, that they go to these abortion clinics, they're buying this tissue, they're using these tissues. Last year, I believe, it might have been this year or last year, there was a whole to-do about what was going on down at these universities about them buying 51% minority abortion related tissues and body parts. So is that something that you guys, promote or advocate about or make people aware about? Because there's an entire, like I said, industry behind that cloning thing. And I didn't realize it until I seen it on the web, like, hey, that is a right to life issue. Like, that didn't click until just now. But what's you guys' thought on that, about the industry surrounding some of these, these issues and taking of these human tissues and things of that nature?
So that is very, very sad. And you're right. It was a couple years ago, the University of Pittsburgh,
right,
what hit the news that they're trafficking in baby parts. We actually have laws that prohibit that. Yet, a law is only as good as the enforcement mechanism. And the universities definitely don't want you to know what they're doing, and so again, public knowledge, public exposure of that helps put pressure on those industries. I mean, it's almost like we're playing God ourselves and trying to create a perpetual, a clone of me, heaven forbid, would look exactly like me, and if I clone myself every 40 years, I would be eternal, right? That's just not how things work.
So Doc, it's sounding. Oh, go ahead, Turner. I'm sorry, bro.
And I think, to Raheem's point about like the financial side, I think that you see places like Planned Parenthood who are purposely, marketing the way that abortion looks as some sort of positive, like woman's body, my choice. We're so loving and caring. And when you really look at it and you follow all the financials of how much money these people make, it is wild how prosperous that it is. And yet organizations like North Carolina Right to Life, like, it's hard to fundraise for a topic like this because it's not the most friendly topic, because we are the people who are actually caring about people. And so it's like, okay, we're battling a monster who can sell babies' bodies to help cloning and do all these studies on and all this madness. And yet it's hard to get conservatives to, donate some money to a political group who's actually trying to end this whole madness and stop things like Planned Parenthood and whatnot, and combating actual evil. And so for me, I'm like, when you see the Pittsburgh story, you're just like, well, clearly they're trying to make a bunch of money, but people are just like what you're saying, Raheem. It's like nobody thinks about that. They're just like, oh, that's just messed up. It's like, no, this is just a right to life issue. This is a problem. And how do we fight? So.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ali, hold on before you go. I just want to.
I tried.
It's like, I really appreciate what you guys are doing as an organization, and before you go to commercial, I hope those that see this understand that, especially in our community, in the quote unquote minority Black community, when the number that you gave, Doc, was what, 60 something million?
So 64 million total abortions in America since Roe v. Wade. But if you want to talk about the minority community, about 14% of the population is Black, African American. They have about 38% of the abortions. That is just genocide.
Thank you for saying that.
Raheem, you're in New York, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like, even in New York, what is it, Bill? It's like, what's the stat in New York? I think it's
so there are more Black babies aborted than live births in New York City every year.
And for my Black friends, my Latino friends, that should terrify you. But I want y'all to know something, because me and Ali talk about this on our show. When we look back at some of the agendas that were promoted inside of the urban community, I actually, and maybe Ali, we grew up with people who saw abortion as birth control. Like, legit, every 3 weeks they were at Planned Parenthood, and you see these commercials. They may not pop up in the suburbs because of how commercials work, like local TV commercials work. Yeah. So you have these commercials where it's like homegirls dancing a hip hop dance on the way to the abortion clinic. So how do you think these folks are going to look at it when she's doing the Macarena on the way to kill a baby? I don't understand like the logic, but fast forward, we have these organizations like you guys who are doing the work to combat that. And it's going to be our job and our mission to keep supporting that. We're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. We're talking with the folks from NC Right to Life. We're talking about their 50th year anniversary and some important issues that you folks need to hear about. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are live with the TUC Twins. We're here on top of the morning. We're talking with the good folks from NC Right to Life. They are celebrating 50 years of fighting for life here in North Carolina. They've got an event coming up with Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second, but I want to go back to something, Doc, when you were talking about how the cloning thing in the relation of that to abortion. Two things you touched on. It sounds like we're playing God, and it sounds like eugenics on steroids to me. It's just like those two things. When I hear, it's like, okay, we're going to promote the murder of babies, and then we're going to target this to the people that the eugenicists wanted gone in the first place. So, I mean, I'm just absolutely so glad you folks are out there fighting and you're promoting it. Now, let's go back, because the abortion issue in North Carolina, obviously, our legislature here put some restrictions on abortion in North Carolina. Thoughts about that? Can we get it further in North Carolina? What are you guys seeing from a legislative front that you're working on abortion here in North Carolina?
So the current law in North Carolina is that abortions are legal up to 12 weeks. So we protect babies after 12 weeks. There's a couple of exceptions, rape and incest, and then the fatal fetal anomalies. But, you know, if you go to those tough questions, and this people want to duck and hide when we talk about rape and incest, and those are horrific crimes committed by a man, and they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. There should be no mercy. That's a horrific act of violence against the woman. And now, you know, it's hard. You know, every life is sacred. And that baby should not be punished for the sins of the father. And I have a good friend, a Hispanic friend here, married. They have two wonderful children. His wife was the product of a rape, and she is so thankful that her mother didn't abort her. They have two wonderful kids. He is very pro-life. He's out at the abortion clinic silently praying, because we don't protest and carry on and condemn people. We want to offer help. We want to offer hope. We want to support those women. And one of the main things in North Carolina, well, actually across the nation, that we get accused of is, oh, you just want them to birth babies. You know, you don't want to take care of the family. And I'm like, no, that's not true at all. Pregnancy resource centers help the women not only during their pregnancy, but for several years afterward. We educate them. We try to provide them with stable living quarters. We want to assist them in getting a job. I think one of the main crises in America today is fatherhood. We as men, the four of us here, are not standing up and defending our families, protecting our families. If you go back to historical times, way back, let's go way, way back. And let's look at the role of the man in the family, the hunter, the protector, the defender of his group, his tribe, his community. And we are not taking our responsibility serious as men today.
And Abdul, to your question about the legislator and everything like that, I think one thing that North Carolina Right to Life does a great job of is they were a major part of getting it down to 12 weeks. And really driving that down. But I do think an important note still is that, one, like Bill's saying, you have the whole rape and those things, and how I still don't find those things to be okay. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get a law passed to get some stuff done. But I think, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's only like 90% of abortions in the country are still committed less than 12 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, and so though that is progress, the goal still would be to get it down, in my opinion, to zero. In North Carolina, the NCRTL's opinion is down to none. And so, like, it's a major step for North Carolina. However, it's still only 10% cut out. And our goal is to get it even further down, as far as we can possibly go. So,
go ahead. No.
So
I just think that it's like there's a lot of other things like Bill. I think you should talk a little bit about the pill that people take and kind of the chemical abortion, things like that are going on.
So let me just throw out a couple more statistics just in general because people don't realize this. 93 to 95% of abortions occur before 15 weeks. So you hear people talking about, well, let's go with a 15-week ban across the nation. It's not going to save very many babies. If you look at what we went to in North Carolina, 12 weeks, 90% of abortions occur before 12 weeks. If you look at going to when the heart starts beating, which is about 6 weeks after conception, you're going to save about 50% of the babies because the women who are seeking abortions are going to say, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. I can only get it up to 6 weeks. I'm going to go get my abortion now, which leads to the chemical abortions. So RU486, mifepristone or mifeprex is the pill that women take, and it's advertised as being, oh, it's so easy. It's just like taking Tylenol, and it's not at all.
No.
And in fact, the FDA has reported 32 deaths associated with that and over 4,000 serious complications over the years. And, you know, it was crazy that our administration said in 2016, okay, this is safe. You only have to report deaths. You don't have to report any other adverse effects. So in other words, significant bleeding needing you to get IV transfusion, significant infection causing you to be in the ICU and get IV antibiotics. Those are not have to be reported. And then the current administration said, oh, 2021, look how safe it is. We don't have any adverse effects. So it is crazy to say, oh, let's only report deaths. And then 7 years later, come back and say, look, this is so safe. We don't have any adverse effects. It's absolutely insane. And people can go to the FDA website and look up adverse effects of mifepristone, and they can see, you know, I have the paper right here.
Yes.
And a couple things highlighted.
Yeah.
That was, I printed it off the website. So it's not me making stuff up. And the women are told, oh, you're just going to have a little bit of spotting. You're going to have some cramps. You'll have a heavier period. And they're sent home with this pill. They start bleeding. They take the second pill. It causes uterine contractions. And the products of conception, the baby, are expelled into the toilet.
Yeah, it's the whole argument of like, you're going to birth that child either way. Are you going to birth them alive or are you going to birth them dead, right? Because that's all that pill does. It is causing the woman to basically birth the baby early. And that's just something that is literally never talked about. It's never touched. Most people don't know anything about it. You know, it's just part of it, and they sneak it in there.
I just gotta say, I had no idea. I don't know the shock, and because this is a learning experience.
Oh, he got him speechless. Yeah. We are going to have to rewind this back. You guys have stumped Ali live on the show. Remarkable. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, I got an actual statement, Ali, because while your brain finishes scrambling in there, you know, the gelatinous mass between your ears is clearly bubbling right now. You're clearly blown away. So, my thing is this: the percentage that you mentioned of especially African Americans getting these abortions, we're talking with roughly 44 million Black Americans in the country. The percentage that those abortions represent are an entire generation of people. Like, do you not? I really need our folks to understand this, that the word genocide applies. This is not hyperbole. When you're talking about the deaths of millions and millions of babies, these are not just clumps of cells. I'm sorry I get so animated about it because it hurts. Like, it literally hurts that you see your people and it's like, yeah, I understand the Jordans, I understand the Gucci, I understand all of that, but where are your values that you don't understand? The number one thing as a human species we have is our progeny, our babies. So to get rid of those babies, those are potential presidents, potential inventors, potential engineers, potential people who could have revolutionized the world. They don't have a chance. We don't know what we're missing now. We don't know what God intended to bring here that you guys have. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but it just bothers me that much.
Right, Raheem, I think it goes back to the point earlier you talked about, like with the college and paying for all the abortion stuff, and Bill was talking about the fatherlessness earlier, and these are all things that this whole big hub of people want to create, because if you separate the father, well, women are still going to get pregnant. They're just more likely to commit abortion, and then they can sell this product, and then it rolls on and on and on and on and on. I mean, it's all just one greater piece of one fatherlessness that they try and promote their welfare and all these things. But on top of that, it's just a huge animal that things like Planned Parenthood want to create to profit off of in a sinful, wretched way that's anti-God, anti-gospel, all these things. And I think that is a wonderful part about North Carolina Right to Life. And why I participate is because they are directly attacking the source of, let's kill the animal that wants to kill all these babies, basically, and ruin families, ruin lives. And so it's not always a pretty fight where you're doing legislative work, and it's not something people want to tangle in because politics isn't something people like to be a part of. But it's a fight that's necessary. And people like Bill participate in the fight in the depths and the weeds of it, talking to legislators who aren't always the most pleasant people, because it's what has to be done. And so, supporting things like coming to our gala, buying tickets there, monthly donations, anything like that, like those are the things that have to be done to allow Bill to go and fight, because not everybody has time and wants to take the time to go down to legislator and try and end all this madness.
So
absolutely, Ra. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the things that I want to point out that Turner said too is that we take extreme care of our donors' dollars. I don't take a salary. Everything I do is gratis. So we use our money very carefully to educate the kids in the summertime. We have this thing called Camp Joshua. It's a pro-life high school camp. It's a Friday evening, and most of the day Saturday. We cover the whole gamut of the pro-life movement. And this is where we need to reach. We need to reach that next generation and bring them up, revealing, valuing life. And you don't hear it in the schools. You may not hear it at home. You may not even hear it from the pulpit, which is sad. No, that is sad. Yeah. I tell legislators all the time, what's so hard about the fifth commandment? Thou shalt not kill. 4 words, no big letter words. What do you not understand? They don't have an answer. They don't have an answer.
Yo, I'm glad you said that, because that method, that message, and that thought transcends our religions. My brother's Christian. I'm Muslim. We got the same rule. Thou shalt not kill. If you're a Jew, you got the same rule. If you're a Buddhist, you got the same rule. It's almost like this universal human thing where we know you shouldn't kill something. I mean, minus the food and the chickens and that's what God put them here for, apparently. So we're supposed to eat them buttery and delicious and salted and peppered and rosemary, but leave the kids alone. Like, can we just leave the babies alone? Like, can we do that?
Yeah.
And I think it's simple, but let's talk 50th anniversary, because this conversation could last an hour. We'll keep you guys on here all day. So let's talk 50th anniversary. Let's talk Babylon B. How did you guys connect with him? How did you guys get him involved in this? Seth Dillon involved in this?
So Seth Dillon, I was aware of him. I was aware of Babylon B, but I really didn't know Seth that much. And North Carolina Right to Life is part of National Right to Life. So we have affiliates in each state across the nation promoting life. They had their annual convention in Pittsburgh this year, and the keynote speaker at the end was Seth Dillon. And I tell you, he got up and spoke for 40 minutes, and we were standing, applauding, cheering. He is so pro
North Carolina Right to Life, cordially.
So I said, this is the perfect guy. He's upbeat. He's intelligent. He's funnier than the Dickens, He pokes fun at everybody. Political satire is what his website's about. And the crazy thing is, I think he said that over 50 of his jokes, his satires, have actually come true. And that's scary.
Yeah.
But he's just an upbeat guy. He's funny. It's going to be a great evening. We're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. One thing, and I want our audience to know this, and this is part of the reason we're doing this, is we need you guys to get some tickets to this event. We need you to go to the NC Right to Life website, donate, set yourself up on recurring. The way you support us is the way we need you to support this issue. As we talk about this 50th anniversary, Doc, what are some things, some highlights that people can take away from what you guys have done over the last 50 years, that you're proud about with and see Right to Life?
So one of the main things, and this again, this transcends all races, parental consent. Children, especially when they're young, are learning. They don't have the experience that we have. They cannot make rational decisions. And so, one of the major victories that we got in the 90s was that they were taking young girls without the parental consent under the age of 18 and providing abortions for them. We're saying, whoa, mom and dad need to be involved. So there was a parental consent law that was passed in the 90s. Then we also worked to get our tax dollars out of funding abortions. So you and I pay taxes. We may have different philosophies about everything, but our tax money, once it goes to the government decides where they're going to spend it. Well, half of the country doesn't want it spent killing babies. And so we were able to opt out of the state and county health care plans as an abortion option. Then we expanded conscious protections for the physicians, healthcare workers that say, I don't believe in this. I don't want to do this. You can't make me do this. And today, a lot of people are saying you have to do what the patient wants you to do. And that brings up, I don't even want to go there, the transgender issue. Again, you have young kids, and I just don't understand it. I think they need help. They're confused. They need some psychological help. And Europe is 10 years ahead of us, and they're pulling back on that right and left. They're saying, wait a minute. We can't do this to kids. It's another thing when you become of consent age, 18, most countries. But even then, the education, boy, God made them male and female. You can't change that. I don't care what you do surgically. I don't care what you do chemically. Every little cell in my body has XY in it. And in a woman's body, every cell in the body has XX. You cannot change that regardless of what we do physically to rearrange the anatomy or chemically to make you feel different.
Excuse me. Clearly, sir, you haven't attended woke university and don't understand the complexities of intersectionality of genderism. Clearly, you don't understand that. So I'm going to need you to stop talking about things you don't understand. It's a complex issue, and my instructor told me that's just where that goes. Because you just said a bunch of logical stuff. That's the response. Is you don't understand the complexity. Two groups.
Here's what I said to you. I met yesterday. I met an individual at a coffee shop yesterday in part of that the transgender community. And I said, listen, my position is simple. If you want me to call you Shirley, I'll call you Shirley. Fine. I cannot, however, fundamentally change that you are a man. I'm never going to think you have changed from you are now a woman. I'll call you whatever you want me to call you out of respect in a public environment. But how did we get, and maybe I don't know that we go down this rabbit hole, but
no, it's definitely, it's definitely a rabbit hole, and we're at 39 minutes, and we got a lightning round. So since I'm above Doc, and you're, we'll question who we're above. All right. That's what we're gonna do. No. What are you doing?
I did that on purpose.
No. Go back. All right. So we've come to the end of the show. To get your 30-second plug, you got to win the lightning round. We're gonna ask a couple of questions. Normally we do about 10, but because it's two of you, we kind of just vibe it out. And we didn't tell you this before the show, right?
Right. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So Ali, I'll let you go first, and then I'll go on my side.
All right. Gotcha. Turner to burner. First question for you in the lightning round. Nike or Reebok?
Reebok.
Okay, Doc. First question for you. Scrubs or Doogie Howser MD?
What, he knows
Doogie
Doogie
Howser,
Howser?
MD.
Okay, go.
Oh, he
That
went
T-
Doogie Howser.
that
Okay,
TV show?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are TV shows.
Scrubs.
Okay, I got you. All right, Turner. Pizza or hot dogs? Which one are you?
Pizza.
Pizza guy.
Okay, Doc.
Okay.
Sylvester
with a
Stallone
fork
or
and knife? Hold on.
What?
Would you ever eat pizza with a knife and fork?
Yeah. Just a fork.
Okay.
No knife. No knife needed.
Okay. All right, Doc. Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Stallone.
Okay.
Same question. Same question.
I
Turner.
told you because when he said face
Stallone.
paint greens, I knew it. I was like, I knew it. He's a Rambo guy. He probably has a bow knife somewhere, really nice knife somewhere. Yeah, Doc, you got a nice knife, don't you?
Well, the hunting knives are very nice. And
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. He seems like a nice hunting knife guy. All right, go ahead,
All
Ali.
right. All right. So Turner, same question. Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Stallone.
Stallone guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Rock, go ahead.
Mainly because of Rocky, not because of Rambo. and stuff.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got two more. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather have? All right. How do I frame this without? Would you rather have $100 million or a superpower of your choice? Any superpower, pick one, or you could just have this $100 million.
I think I would go with the superpower and the art of persuasion.
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead, Ali.
So you can roll up on people and be like, "Give to North Carolina right to life."
No, we'd actually have them traversing the country in black communities, going up to people saying, "Abortion is bad. You do not like it. Abortion is bad. You do not like it." Yeah, we'd have to get him 1,000 pairs of shoes. Go ahead, Ali. We got two more, real quick.
That's almost the hypnotic part of it. You really have to use persuasion based on facts.
Even better. There you go.
Bang,
there you go.
Bang, boogie.
Go ahead, Ali. One more.
So you're Turner the Burner. You're going into a fisticuffs, right? There's no way out of it. It is a fisticuffs to occur. It is going down. Who would you rather have with you, Donald Trump or Bill Clinton?
Or Bill Clinton. I'd probably choose Donald Trump because I feel like Bill Clinton would get a little distracted by the women nearby.
Oh, good one. I love this. Go ahead, Doc. Your turn. Your turn, Doc.
All right.
You got it. Same
Doc.
question. I'd love to hear your answer to this one. There's going to be a fight. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Well, I kind of have to go with the New Yorker because he punches back.
There you go. All right. I got one other question for Doc before we end off here. Bow hunting or rifle hunting?
Oh, bow hunting, definitely. Much more stealthy, much more skill. The animal has to get closer to you. You have to be a good shot.
You probably also got a nice compound bow somewhere in there, don't you?
I do.
I know you. Nice 90 pounder too, huh?
Well, I'm a little old for that.
You still got one though. Just look at it. You gotta look at it. Boy, if I could. No, go ahead, Ali. Wrap it up.
Just
all right.
So the first time I ever shot a compound bow, I was amazed at the force and the quickness of it. And
yeah.
If American Indians had compound bows, it'd have been a different story.
Yeah. Some people listen. I like hunting, and people really underestimate a good bow. Like you're gonna run out of bullets. You're gonna run out of bullets. You're not gonna run out of bows. You can go get that, pull that on out, use it again. I love a good hunt. So go ahead, Ali. Are we done? Did they win? Win?
No. The last question for both of you all in the lightning round. This is it. This is how you earn the 30-second plug. So you are both stuck on a desert island. You get one meal for the rest of your life for breakfast. You get one meal for the rest of your life for lunch, and one meal for the rest of your life for dinner. You get one book and you get one album. Turner, breakfast every day for the rest of the life of your life on this island. What's for breakfast every day?
I'm gonna go with
Anything you want.
A bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from Hardee's.
Doc, breakfast every day for the rest of your life. What you got?
I want to go with Biscuitville and a ham and egg biscuit and grits.
Biscuitville, that's serious business. I knew I liked Doc. Biscuitville is amazing. All right, lunch every day for the rest of your life. Turner, what you got?
Leftover pizza.
Ooh, okay, gotcha. Doc, lunch.
Well, I was thinking pizza too, but I don't want leftover pizza.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that fresh. I can't do the leftover. I know why the leftover pizza though, because of the consistency of the cheese on top. That smooth. I'm with you, Turner.
Well, but it's something about it just being leftover feels like lunch. If it was hot, it wouldn't feel like lunch. I don't know.
I can rationalize with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I can rationalize
Last dinner for the rest of your life, Desert Island.
Taco Bell.
There you go.
Just whatever Taco Bell. I'm pretty much good.
Dinner for the rest of your life, Doc. What you got?
Venison.
I knew it. I said it in my head. I said it. Let me tell you what I said. I said in my mind, I was like, he's gonna say venison, side of potatoes, probably a nice red or something to go with them. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got
that's my guy. That's my guy.
Turner, a book and an album. What you got? What's your book? What's your album for the rest of your life?
Oh gosh, I don't listen to music that much. I don't know. I'm a big Ben Rector fan. I know that's what a lot of girls like, but my wife and I listen to him all the time. So any one of his albums. And then book, I think the cheap answer would be the Bible. So I'm not going to give that one because that's obvious.
But it's an okay answer. It's the best answer you can give.
But I think there's a book called The Call to Create by Jordan Rayner. It was a good book for me. So I think I'm going to say that one because it's very readable.
There you go.
Nice.
Doc, what you got?
Nice.
I'm going to take the Bible because there's so much in it. And there's so much woven through it when you read it that you can refer from the Old Testament back to the New Testament. Mm-hmm. And the story of salvation is your story and my story. So I would go with that. As far as music, my wife plays the piano and she plays a lot of classical music. So I like Beethoven and, I can get into a chill. Whether it's the Bible that I'm reading or pro-life arguments or legislative things, that background music with my good book, I love it.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Turner the Burner and the good doctor here have earned their 30-second plug. So, Doc, I am going to give you the screen. Tell folks how they can support North Carolina Right to Life and what y'all got coming up. The floor is now yours.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having us on this show. We have a great event coming up 2 weeks from Saturday here in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Corey Convention Center. Seth Dillon of the Babylon Bee, political satire site, very strongly pro-life, took it to Joe Rogan on that interview. He's coming. We're getting a greetings from Senator Ted Budd. We're getting greetings from David Osteen, National Right to Life Executive Director for 42 years. It's going to be a great event. We're having a silent auction with some awesome prizes. Please go to our website, www.ncrtl, North Carolina Right to Life.org for more information. Thanks.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Dr. Pincus from North Carolina Right to Life, my man Turner VOTIPKA, who sits on the board of directors. Again, please, with sugar on top, go over to NCRTL, to their website, so that you can support their upcoming 50th anniversary, ncrtl.org. We have a link to it on the Urban Conservative. We are so honored that you all would come and spend a little time with us this morning. We're going to be sharing the commercial and promoting the event and supporting you guys. We really appreciate you taking the time out. We'll be back in live and direct Monday morning for Top of the Morning right here on the Urban Conservative. From my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. Y'all have an amazing, fantastic, and blessed weekend. See y'all next week. Peace.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, guys.
Anniversary Gala on Saturday, November 18th, 2023 at the Corey Convention Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. Join us as we celebrate 50 years of dedication to the pro-life cause with an evening of humor and celebration featuring the Babylon Bee CEO, Seth Dillon. Visit us at ncrtl.org to find out more or to get your tickets. North Carolina Right to Life cordially invites you to our 50th anniversary gala on Saturday, November 18th, 2023 at the Corey Convention Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. Join us as we celebrate 50 years of dedication to the pro-life cause with an evening of humor and celebration featuring the Babylon Bee CEO, Seth Dillon. Visit us at ncrtl.org to find out more or to get your tickets.